On January 30th, 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice dropped the biggest Epstein bomb in history. Over 3 million pages, 180,000 images, and 2,000 videos. This is the final release under the Epstein Files Transparency Act that Trump signed in November 2025. Millions of pages that were locked away for years are now public. And yes, the internet is losing its mind. Before we dive into the new files, we need a quick recap. Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier who moved in elite circles, from Wall Street and academia to politics and royalty. He was first investigated in the mid-2000s and eventually received an unusually light plea deal in Florida for sex offense charges involving underage girls. Years later, after fresh reporting and new testimony, he was arrested again in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. He died in jail that same year, officially ruled a suicide, which only deepened public suspicion and conspiracy theories. Since then, court cases involving his associate Ghislaine Maxwell, civil lawsuits by survivors, and media investigations have generated thousands of pages of documents. So, what exactly are these new Epstein files everyone is talking about in early 2026? They are a combination of previously sealed court records, declassified investigative documents, and newly unredacted portions of older filings. In simple terms, we're seeing more of what was already there, with fewer black bars and fewer hidden names. These materials can include things like flight logs and schedules from private jets, contact lists, phone records or address books, FBI interview summaries and witness statements, court exhibits from civil cases brought by survivors. Different media outlets are highlighting different parts of the release. Some focus on which powerful names appear in logs or emails. Others on the disturbing details of how trafficking and grooming allegedly worked. It's important to understand that being mentioned in these files is not the same as being criminally charged or proven guilty in court. The context of each mention matters. One reason this latest document dump is getting so much attention is the presence or reappearance of extremely high-profile names, former and current political leaders, tech billionaires, business tycoons, lawyers, academics, even royal family members. In 2026, media coverage has zeroed in particularly on Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and a few others. Some names appear in the files because they had social or business contact with Epstein, being on a flight list, attending a dinner, or appearing in a contact book. Other names appear in the context of allegations, witness statements, or legal claims. Those are far more serious and must be treated with caution, because they are still allegations unless tested in court. For example, Trump had known social ties with Epstein long before becoming president, including being photographed together and reportedly attending the same parties. Later, he publicly distanced himself after Epstein's first case became public. For Musk and Gates, media reports have focused on meetings, introductions, or attempts to raise money, not on criminal charges. So, what are the main themes that emerge from this newest batch of files? First, the scale of Epstein's network looks even larger and more international than many people realized. The documents reinforce a picture of a man who used wealth, private jets, and high-end social circles to move between New York, Florida, the Caribbean, Europe, and beyond. The list of people he met or knew crosses political parties, industries, and countries. Second, the files give more detail on how survivors say the trafficking operated: recruitment through modeling promises, financial vulnerability, or social connections, grooming that started with massages and escalated, and a pattern of moving girls between properties to keep them under control. These details are difficult to hear, but they are essential to understanding the nature of the crimes. Third, the documents raise uncomfortable questions about institutions, prosecutors, universities, banks, and even intelligence circles that seemed willing to look the other way or maintain relationships with Epstein long after his behavior was publicly known. The files hint at a system where money and access bought leniency and silence. And finally, there's the political angle. With Donald Trump back in the White House and other powerful names trending online, every new page released becomes a weapon in partisan battles. One side accuses a cover-up, the other claims a witch hunt. The truth is that the documents should be examined as evidence, not as political ammunition.